You can't see fibromyalgia, but if you're living with it, you feel it every single day. Today is Fibromyalgia Awareness Day, so I want to show you what it actually feels like. Not the version from a website, not a list of symptoms, the real version after 26 years of living with it. If you've ever struggled to explain this to someone in your life, I hope this video gives you the words. And if someone sent this to you, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. This will help you understand, so please watch to the end. Hi, I'm Rashpal, and I've had fibromyalgia for decades. I'm also a RAP certified wellbeing coach, and I've supported over 1,400 people to improve their health and their lives. But today, I'm not here as a coach. I'm here as someone who woke up this morning, felt the familiar weight of this condition, and decided to be completely honest with you about what it feels like. Because awareness days matter, not because of the hashtags, but because of the conversations they start. And I want to start a real one today. So let me take you through what it is actually like to live in this body. Some of what I'm going to share is personal, but I think it needs to be said. The first thing you need to understand about fibromyalgia is that it's completely invisible. From the outside, I look fine. I always have. I can be standing in a supermarket, smiling, making conversation, and inside my body is in chaos. My arms might be burning, my legs might feel like they're made of concrete. And my brain, well, they call it brain fog, but that makes it sound almost pleasant, like a misty morning. It isn't. The only way I can describe it is it's like having a brick in your brain sitting right behind your eyes. It's painful, it's heavy, it slows everything down. Simple tasks feel enormous and words disappear mid-sentence. You put the kettle on and stand there completely forgetting why, not being able to process the thoughts that will lead you from asking a question like, why am I here right now? And then to actually doing the thinking that will give you the answer. It just feels impossible. But yet, to anyone looking at me, I'm just a person in my home or in the supermarket. That invisibility is one of the hardest things about this condition, because when people can't see it, they often don't believe it. They minimize it. They say things like, but you don't look sick. And you smile and you say, I know. And inside you're exhausted in a way that's almost impossible to explain. And here's something I don't think gets said enough. A lot of us are very, very good at hiding it. We smile, we push through, we show up and perform a version of okay because it's easier than explaining, or because we don't want to be a burden, or because we've learned that people don't always believe us anyway. And then we go home and we collapse. Viewers in my community have described it perfectly. One said, most of us are great at masking our pain just to get through the day. It makes it seem like we feel okay when we're really struggling. And that is so true. The cruel irony is that the better we get at masking, the less the people around us understand what it actually costs us. So if you don't have fibromyalgia and someone sent you this video, that right there might be the most important thing I say today. The person in your life isn't fine just because they look fine. They are working incredibly hard to appear that way, and it's exhausting. But I want to go deeper, so let's walk you through what a real day with fibromyalgia looks like, because some of what I'm about to share might surprise you. Here's the thing that confuses people around me the most. I can do the same thing 2 days in a row, same routine, same food even, same amount of rest, and have completely different outcomes. On Monday, I might manage a walk, some work for the channel, some time in the garden. I feel almost normal. And I make the mistake of thinking, maybe I'm turning a corner. And then Tuesday comes and I can barely go downstairs. This is the unpredictability of fibromyalgia, and it is relentless. In the early years, this used to break me emotionally. Hopeful, then crash, hopeful, then crashed, over and over again. And every time I'd ask myself, what did I do wrong? Was it something I ate? Did I do too much? Was it stress? Was it the weather? Sometimes there was an answer, but often there wasn't. And learning to stop blaming myself every single time my body said no, that took a very long time. But it was one of the most important things I ever did. I'll come back to that. But first, I want to take a moment. If you're watching this today on Fibromyalgia Awareness Day, you might be newly diagnosed. You might have been living with this for years, or you might be someone who loves a person with fibro and is trying to understand what they go through. Whoever you are, thank you for being here, genuinely. This channel is my way of building a community for people who get it. And if it's ever helped you, even a little, you can support the work that we do here over on Ko-Fi. The link is always in the description. Even a small contribution makes a real difference. And if you'd like to go deeper into the lessons I've personally learned from living with fibromyalgia for over 26 years now, my book, 18 Lessons from Chronic Illness, is available on Amazon, also linked below. It's written as a reflective journal, so you can work through it at your own pace. Right, now let's continue the video by talking about fatigue. People think they understand tiredness, and I get it. Everyone gets tired. But fibromyalgia is something else entirely. Viewers in my community have described it as a deep, bone-level fatigue, and that is exactly the right description. It's not a tiredness that goes away with sleep. In fact, and this is one of the cruelest aspects of the condition, sleep rarely helps. You can sleep 8, 9, 10 hours and wake up feeling like you haven't slept at all. The medical term for this is unrestorative or unrefreshing sleep. And that describes it exactly. I remember the early years when I didn't understand what was happening. When the pain was at its worst, I stopped moving completely. I thought complete rest meant healing. I barely ate, I barely drank. I waited for my husband to come home before I was helped to go to the bathroom. But my muscles weakened, my fatigue deepened, and my mood dropped. That's what it's like in the early days. Rest was necessary, but complete stillness was making everything worse. And that's the cruel paradox of fibromyalgia fatigue. You need to rest, but too much rest makes you worse. You have to keep moving, even when moving costs you. Finding that balance, learning when to push and when to stop, that is something that genuinely takes years to understand. And the exhaustion isn't only physical. Stay with me because this next part really matters. When people hear fibromyalgia, they think of pain. That's what differentiates this condition from chronic fatigue. Yes, there is pain, but it's not straightforward either. It doesn't sit in one place and stay there. Fibromyalgia pain moves, it shifts. Some days it's in my legs, some days my shoulders and neck. Some mornings I wake up and my hands won't cooperate. Some evenings the pain settles in my chest and I have to remind myself it's fibro, it's not my heart. Some of my viewers have described the pain as feeling like you have the flu. That widespread, bone-deep muscle aching that just doesn't go away. And when I heard that, I thought, yes, that's it exactly. Because everyone knows what that feels like to have the flu. That heavy, relentless, all-over aching pain where even your skin hurts. Now imagine if that doesn't clear in a week or two. Imagine that is just Tuesday. The pain can be burning, aching, stabbing, or just a constant heavy pressure. Sometimes all of those things at once. Sometimes only one of those things in one spot. And then there are the other things that come with it. The hypersensitivity, where lights feel too bright, sounds feel too loud. Sometimes the texture of clothing can genuinely be unbearable on your skin. And the digestive problems, the headaches, the temperature sensitivity, where you can't get warm or can't cool down. Fibromyalgia is not just widespread pain. It is a full body experience that touches almost every system in your body. And the most frustrating part, it doesn't show up on a blood test. It doesn't appear on a scan. So for years, many of us, we are told there's nothing wrong, or worse, that it's in our heads. I remember years of tests, the appointments where I walked away feeling dismissed and unheard, until finally, someone said fibromyalgia. And I felt two things at once: relief that it had a name, and grief that the name came with no answers, no cure. This is the part that I think gets overlooked the most, and I want to talk about it honestly today. Living with constant pain and fatigue, being frequently misunderstood, managing a condition that's invisible, unpredictable, it affects your mind profoundly. For me, it led to anxiety, and I don't mean a little bit of worry. I mean a state of high alert I genuinely couldn't switch off. My nervous system was already oversensitive, and anxiety was like pouring petrol onto a fire. I became unconfident and afraid. What can and can't I do? Will it make me worse? Am I weak now? Is my life over? I had horrendous moments of anger, frustration, emotional pain, and despair, and I was really irritable. I felt like I was losing myself, becoming someone I didn't recognize. At times, I got headaches from the sheer noise of my own mind. And then, after years of running on overdrive, my system crashed and depression hit. I remember sitting for hours, unable to move. Tears would fall, but I'd feel nothing, crying with no reason I could name. No motivation, no interest in anyone or anything. It's like my brain had pressed pause on life. It took therapy and eventually a mild antidepressant to help me find my way back. And I want to be very clear, there is no shame in any of that. None. I'm sharing this today because I think we need to talk about this part more, not just the physical symptoms, the whole truth of what fibromyalgia does to a person and to our mental health. And that brings me back to the part I've been building towards, the part nobody really talks about, but the part I think you most need to hear. You still show up. Even on the days when everything hurts, even on the days when you can barely move, even on the days when you look absolutely fine on the outside, while you are quietly falling apart on the inside. You still try. You try to be a good partner, a good parent, a good friend. You try to participate in life. You cancel plans and reschedule and apologize, and sometimes cancel again. And then you feel guilty for cancelling. You have rebuilt your life around this condition in ways that other people will never notice. The things you've quietly given up, the adjustments you make without even thinking about them anymore, the plans or the dreams that you've let go of. But there is some hope to my story, and there can be to yours. In those 26 years, I have started a business and run it. I raised my family, I've cared for my elders, I've looked after my home, and now I've built this community. Not because fibromyalgia got easier, because I got better at living with it. I adjusted, I planned, I learned my body. I built routines that worked for me. I found what filled me up with energy and what drained me. I stopped being hard on myself when a bad day came. And slowly, not overnight, not quickly, but really slowly, I started having more good days than bad. That is not a small thing. It's enormous. And if you are in the early days of this journey, if you are newly diagnosed, if you're overwhelmed, if you're grieving the life you thought you'd have, I want you to hear this. It does get more manageable. Not always easier, but more manageable. You are not doing this wrong. You are not weak. You are not traumatic. You are carrying something real and heavy and invisible. And you are still here. Today is Fibromyalgia Awareness Day, and real awareness isn't a hashtag, it's a conversation. It's the moment someone in your life finally understands why you had to cancel, why you had to sit down, why you needed a minute. And if someone sent you this, if you came here not because you have fibromyalgia, but because someone in your life does, I hope this helped. I hope it gave you a small window into what they carry every single day. Not so you feel sorry for them, but so that you can understand them a little better. That understanding means everything to us. So here's what I'd like to ask. If this video has resonated with you, if any part of it gave you the words you've been looking for, share it with one person. A partner, a friend, a family member, a colleague, someone who's been trying to understand but hasn't quite got there yet. That's how awareness actually spreads, one conversation at a time. And if you're watching this and you have fibromyalgia, I see you. If you've cried while you've watched this, that was some pain you needed to release, and I hope you have some relief in being known and seen. I know what it costs just to get through a day. I know the invisible work you do, and I'm so glad that you are part of this community where we can support each other. Leave a comment below and tell me, what do you wish people understood about fibromyalgia? I read every single one. There are also links below that lead to other resources that I've created that can help. So take a look at those when you have a minute. Until next time, take care of yourself and be well.